Hey everyone, this is Daryl from Daily Crypto Trade Signals, coming to you live from Asia, guys. We're going to be talking about what did Powell say, what are the FOMC impacts on Dogecoin XRP, guys. So we got some great news to talk about, some great content. So watch this video to the end, guys. What did Powell actually say about the rate cuts and how is that impacted crypto? And what happened last night? What absolutely happened last night, yesterday, when Powell made the announcements with the rate cuts or hikes, guys. So watch this to the end. This is not financial advice, just the OG in the house expressing my opinion. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Go back and watch all my other videos. I would appreciate it. And do share these videos if you would. I appreciate that. So what's going on? We did see that yesterday the broader markets were positive after the FOMC meeting. We're going to dive into that. What is the impact? What is the absolute impact on XRP out there? So overall, the overall direct impact of the FOMC meeting was not that good, right? We saw that initially after the announcement, we did see crypto go up. It spiked a couple times during the speech, and then ultimately went down. So this is a bit of a Debbie Downer, right? We can see that overall the crypto bubbles, everything is down except Night is up 83%. I don't know what that is. Probably some outlier meme coin. But overall, pretty disappointed. But I did say that the 25 basis points reduction was baked in, right? Was baked in. Fear and greed right now is at 29. So it's a little bit better, right? That's because Bitcoin right now is trading at 91,900, almost 92,000. XRP is 205. The Doge also got hammer time. Is back down to 14.3, so that's almost down 3%. So overall, crypto market cap is down 0.73%, 3.14 trillion. Altcoin season, it's not going to happen. According to this, it's not going to happen, right? Average RSI, we're neutral right now, so overall, everything is kind of gone down, right? Nothing is positive. Maybe some outliers. Hyperliquid is up 3%. Monroe is up, but everything is negative. So it wasn't exactly what we expected, right? It wasn't exactly what we expected. Good news is FOMC-wise, December 209, so we're still in positive territory out there. So what the FOMC meeting did and what it means for crypto. So as you guys know, the FOMC cuts its benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points. That was kind of like baked in, right? We all kind of knew that was going to happen. Bringing the federal funds rate to 3.5 to 3.75, the lowest in about 3 years. So that's good if you're borrowing money, right? The decision was controversial. There was internal dissent. Some members opposed the cut, and the federal signaled caution about future moves. In the immediate aftermath, crypto markets saw volatility. Prices rose, okay. Then there was a pullback as traders weighed the Fed's forward guidance. So if you take a look at the chart here for Bitcoin, you can see if we go on the daily, if we go on a shorter time frame, we're at about 12 hours. You can see that let's make it even smaller. Let's go down to like 4 hours. You can see that we had some spikes, right? We had some spikes when there was an announcement happening. Some spikes here, so it's okay, right? We had a nice spike, and then we ultimately dropped back down. So that's what that's all about. So on a macro level, lower interest rates tend to increase liquidity in risk assets markets, stocks, and cryptos, which can be bullish for long-term growth of assets like XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and others. However, and this is key, if the Fed signals the future easing is uncertain or inflation remains concerned, crypto can still struggle. Markets are sensitive not just to rate cuts, but also to forward guidance and economic outlook. What does this mean for crypto? The rate cuts give liquidity boosts. This generally is good for risk assets, including crypto. But the market reaction will depend heavily on the Fed says next, inflation data, growth, job market, etc. For coins like XRP, which are also dependent on institutional interest and microeconomic environment, this could create a window of opportunity if sentiment turns bullish. But if the macro outlook stays shaky, downside pressure remains. That's freaking key, guys. So yeah, basically it's kind of a nothing burger, right? So here's a summary of Fed Chair Powell's comments. He said downside risks to employment have risen, so we can see jobs are shrinking. Inflation in the U.S. remains somewhat elevated. Interest rates are now in a plausible range of neutral. GDP growth forecast for 2026 has been revised up, so that's positive. Readings on inflation are higher as goods inflation has picked up. So you go to the grocery store, it costs more, right? The Fed members dissented in today's decision. So it's kind of a mixed bag, right? In terms of, some members are like yes, some members are no. So we all know that Powell's out of there. So let's listen to what Powell has to say. So basically, Fed Chair Powell says interest rates will either stay the same, be cut a little, or could cut a lot, but not raise. Okay, I don't think the rate hike is anyone's base case. Okay, so let's listen to what he has to say.
So I don't think that a rate hike is anybody's base case at this point, and I'm not hearing that. What you see is some people feel we should stop here and that we're at the right place and just wait. Some people feel like we should cut once or more this year and next year. But when people are writing down their estimates of policy of where it should go, it is either holding here or cutting a little or cutting more than a little. So I don't see the base case as involving that. So I don't think that.
So basically, he's just kind of going along with the herd. He says that the base case is to reduce, but he's kind of indicating that we have other macroeconomic data that's going to impact the markets other than just interest rate. So that's kind of that in a nutshell, right? So what's happening with XRP and Doge today? According to recent crypto markets, including XRP and Dogecoin, held relatively steady as traders awaited the Fed's decision. Some analysts are warning that if XRP, despite the slick uptick, a death-cross technical signal suggests a broader trend may remain bearish. Unless XRP breaks above the 220, 230 resistance, let's take a look at that chart for a second. Where's the chart? Chart. So let's take a look at the XRP chart for a second. XRP. So you can see here, the XRP chart, we have some resistance around about here, at around about 230, 220, 230. So we really need to get above that. So this is like a resistance zone right here, okay? So this is very key that we get in above that area. So that's crucial, guys. That's crucial. So some analysts are warning if for XRP, despite the slight uptick, a death cross technical signal suggests a broader trend may remain bullish. Unless XRP breaks above resistance near 220 and 230, if that fails, some forecasts drop to $1.61 or lower, possibly down to 125. On a more structural front, there's continued optimism about the value of XRP's underlying technology and potential role in cross-border payments. And we've been saying that for a long time. This is XRP's major positive part of its utility is cross-border payments. If this happens, then XRP price is going to boom, right? That said, there has been heavy whale activity. Large holders reportedly sold significant amounts of XRP leading up to the Fed minutes. This is normal. This is pretty normal, which may be dampening short-term momentum. Bottom line for XRP, in this precarious spot, technically, there's structural potential long-term. But short-term signals are mixed. Dogecoin, like many other altcoins, is largely riding broader market sentiment rather than a not coin-specific catalyst. So when we talk about Doge, what's happening with Doge? It's just riding the market, right? When Bitcoin goes up, Doge goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, Doge goes down. So it's just kind of following the status quo, right? That's what's kind of happening. So yeah. So my take to watch for next: will XRP break above 220, 230? The resistance zone is key. A breakout could flip sentiment bullish, and we really need to get ourselves above 220. On-chain and whale activity, big holders are offloading before the Fed. Not good. Macro and Fed signals, inflation data, unemployment numbers, and upcoming Fed commentary will steer not only crypto but global risk appetite. So broader market liquidity and risk on sentiment, crypto tends to follow big money flows. If risk assets rally, crypto often follows. So let's see. I mean, if we take a look at what happened with the Nasdaq, it did rally. So hopefully, this is kind of an indicator as to what's happening next with crypto, right? So, what's going on? XRP is inside this triangle and is setting up for a 16% move, and we need to get ourselves above 220. That's the next resistance for XRP. Definitely need to do that. What's going on with Doge right now? So Doge right now is holding around 14.3 after cooling off from a sharp pump towards 15.3. Doge has settled into a slow, tight range as buyers try to maintain support, showing early signs of stabilization while the market waits for next decisive move. So we're seeing a lot of range-bound consolidation for Doge and most of cryptos. I mean, yeah, XRP potential fractal here. Like I said, we need to get past this 220 if we're going to see any light at the end of the tunnel. Looks like CBOE has officially certified approval for the listing and registration for 21 shares for XRP ETF. So that is pretty good. Filings happening today. That's positive, right? So yeah, that's kind of it, guys. That's kind of all I got. Quick update, FOMC. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the freaking next one, guys. Peace out.